Well, another week, so we have another review for an episode of The Bad Batch. This one is episode 5 of season 3 called The Return. So last week actually ended on a bit of a cliffhanger with Crosshair stepping out of the ship and facing off with Hunter and Wrecker, and the question for me was like, okay, what's going to happen next? And then this episode starts well after that. I don't know how much time has passed. It could be a week for all I know, but they didn't just instantly show us what happened after, and that is kind of an issue that I have with this episode in general, because one of the tropes that I really get annoyed with in movies and TV shows is that they don't confront each other when they have stuff they need to talk about to resolve some kind of conflict. And it's a whole bunch of awkward interaction until they finally do, because you know that they're finally going to interact with each other and talk about it and maybe push each other like Hunter and Crosshair do. But up until that point, it's awkward interactions that I cannot stand that. I'm personally someone who just confronts a person if I have an issue with them, and I want another person to confront me if they have an issue with me, because to be fair, I'm autistic. I miss a lot of social cues, and that's why I want to get it out of the way. So yeah, unfortunately, this is the weakest episode so far of this season. I still think it was good, and I'm going to go into why exactly in just a bit. But this was just one of those things that overall really put a sour taste in my mouth when I was watching the episode from the get-go already. What I do like about this episode, though, is, again, Crosshair. Like, I really love his arc throughout the show. He's my favorite character. I've said that time and time again. But yeah, now that he's back with his brothers and in a more safe environment, and he's not being hunted or anything by the Empire, he is having difficulty adjusting to normal life, it seems. Like, he's doing target practice with AZ, and he just keeps shaking and keeps missing his shots, which he usually would never do, because Crosshair is the best sharpshooter in the entire galaxy, I think, or at least one of the best. But yeah, him shaking and only having 53% of accuracy according to AZ, that's not good. So yeah, it really shows Crosshair has been affected by everything that has happened and is really not well and in a good headspace. And he really needs to figure some shit out for himself. Well, and of course, it's a big reunion for everyone because Echo comes in to visit as well. Except it really isn't that much of a reunion because, well, okay, we do have most of the Bad Batch, but unfortunately Tech is still not there because, well, he supposedly died. I do wonder if he really did die, though. He fell from a great height, but it still reminds me a little bit of that moment in Captain America, the First Avenger, when Bucky falls from a great height and he comes back as the Winter Soldier anyway. So I'm kind of curious if we would see Tech as a Winter Soldier looking dude at some point. It would be crazy if they do that, but I don't put it out of the realms of possibility yet, simply because, if Darth Maul was able to return after being sliced in half, anyone can return in this damn galaxy as far as I'm concerned. But Echo is there to help them because, well, Echo is standing up for the clones, and they want to find a way to get to Tantus to rescue the clones from the facility. I do very much wonder what this entire plan will entail when we finally get to it. Like, are they going to have their clone army all attack Tantus all at once? I don't think that's a particularly good idea in general. I feel like whatever kind of plan they come up with to get to Tantus and then try to rescue clones, it's not going to go well for most of them. Like, sure, our main characters are going to survive probably because of a lot of plot armor, but by the time that we get there, I have no idea what is actually going to happen. I will say, though, I'm looking forward to whatever it is we're getting at some point, but I have a feeling it might end very badly. This show might end on a very down note. I'm not sure about that, but this plan about just going to Tantus, it's not a great plan. But to even get to Tantus, they of course need some kind of lead, and Crosshair has a lead. He's like, I know a planet. So they go to a planet that I know quite well. I think a lot of people know quite well because it is the planet from probably the best episode in the entire series so far. Last season, in episode 12, we had an episode of Crosshair being at the Outpost. That was the name of the episode. And it was such a heartbreaking episode, honestly, with Crosshair meeting this clone, and then they go through a lot of stuff together, and it's what essentially turned Crosshair against the Empire by killing Nolan, who was an absolute dick and deserved it. But yeah, we go back there, and it was also cool that at one point Crosshair picks up one of the helmets that looks like the one from the clone that died beside him, and he pays respect to it. It was a nice touching moment, so it was cool to see that planet again. But once they're there, they decide to turn off the perimeter sensors, which was not very smart because we got a huge creature, and well, now they need to take care of that. So big action sequence going on. And I was watching this, and you know what the thing is? I have been literally obsessed with Dune for the past weeks because, you know, Dune 2 came out, and it's a phenomenal movie, and everyone should go see it. But is it just me, or does this entire thing, like this creature is called a worm? Worm. It's very similar to, you know, the sandworm, and it's going like up to the surface when it's getting to attack, and then it opens its mouth, and this is Dune right here. I also get the feeling that maybe they were like, okay, let's insert this episode right after the release of Dune 2 to essentially ride the high, because people are going to be like, oh, hey, it's the same like that. So it might just be the case, but it was a funny connection, I felt. But of course, Crosshair and Hunter, they take care of it, and at the end of it all, they walk side by side, and they are met by Wrecker, who actually hugs them. So it was cool. And I also thought it was a cool parallel to the last time that Crosshair was walking from a place like that towards the base, because the last time he was on this planet and he was walking, well, he was actually holding the other clone, like trying to get back to the base, and they were both like completely beat up. And now it's actually him being completely cool again with his brothers, and it's a cool parallel, I feel. But Crosshair is still definitely mentally damaged. Like, he is not okay. I wonder when we'll finally see him shoot straight again, when he is going to turn the switch on again. Like, he's going to be okay. He has a little chat with Hunter, and Hunter is a lot more calm this time around. He's not as hostile as he was before. And this is going to take some time, which, you know, that happens. This is life. And I think that just even more solidifies why Crosshair is my favorite character, because, you know, all this stuff happening to him, it doesn't just go away instantly. No, it actually has an effect on him. And I do wonder, like, how that's going to resolve itself, because I'm pretty sure that will, but when exactly and how, we'll get there. That's pretty much all I can say about this episode. I think it's kind of filler-ish out of all the episodes that we've had so far. That's more so because all the other episodes have been so good and so relentless with like how stuff is moving along and what is happening, that this was a calmer one where not a whole lot happened. It was more so important in terms of character stuff. So I wouldn't consider it completely filler, but it is a bit more of a quieter episode in that regard. Maybe this episode actually is a bit better on rewatch when I'm just going to binge all of it at once, and we'll see how that works, because I found that the Bad Batch is actually a little bit better when I binge all of it at once instead of watching it episode by episode every week, like how it is now. But anyway, that is all I can say about this episode, and now I just wonder, what did you think of the episode? Did you like it more than I did? Do you disagree maybe that it's filler? And are there any things that I might have missed? Please let me know any thoughts and opinions that you have in the comments below. Please consider subscribing to my channel, because I talk Star Wars a lot, and the Bad Batch, because I'm very passionate about Star Wars, the Bad Batch, and also Dune. I talk a lot about Dune these days, it seems, because I'm just obsessed with Dune too. Check out my reviews that I did. And also check me out on the other channels that I'm a part of, where I don't just talk about Star Wars, but I also talk about other movies in general. So I will link everything in the description down below. Please follow me on social media to stay updated with everything that I post. And until my next review, may the Force be with you.